First up, yesterday they did a Super Mario Brothers movie direct, which was pretty much them talking about the movie and then showing off the first ever trailer. So before we get into that, what was your thoughts on the poster, Damian, that they showed
On
off?
the poster. Honestly, I thought it looks pretty good. I thought it was very colorful. I think I was actually surprised the character designs, like pretty much like how they looked in the games. Usually when they do stuff like in movies, they change up the designs for like no reason, but it seemed like Illumination was being pretty faithful to like the original designs, which was nice. Obviously, Mario, you know, everyone say had no ass. I saw that on Twitter.
Yep.
But yeah, I still thought he looked fine, from the back, I guess, like he looked good. All the toads look normal. It just looked good. I really like is like very detailed and everything. Obviously you can't get that in the game, so it looks like they really did everything they could to really make it look good. Because, when you think of Illumination, you don't really think too much of like good animation. I mean, like they did Minions and like Despicable Me, but everything else it is pretty generic and like not that standout. It's not like DreamWorks where they do like How to Train Your Dragon, and that movie looks really good, or obviously Pixar or whatever. But it looks like they were really giving it their all, at least in this poster. Like it looked good. So
Yeah.
I had some faith going into the movie to the trailer. So
Yeah, I think the poster itself was pretty promising. I think that them showing off, I guess, Mario taking on the Mushroom Kingdom, if you will, because that's what it seems like from the trailer. He's being like isekai in or some shit.
yeah, he's got Isekai. Yeah.
So the poster itself does look pretty good. I cannot wait to, see what else we can, other, I guess, like areas of the Mario universe that we're going to explore. But yeah, I mean, before the trailer even came out, the fucking Mario design got leaked because someone, I think like Alex eats pants or something, or Connor eats pants.
Connor.
Yeah, something like that. Just leaked it in their Discord because they worked at McDonald's. And I'm like, why would you ever give classified information to McDonald's employees? They don't give a fuck. They actually don't care about their job. So, yeah, that's how it pretty much got leaked to the world. If you didn't see it in the trailer for the first time. But the trailer itself, I mean, the first time I watched it was in my fucking car. So, but I mean, I think that this speaks to just Nintendo being very protective of their IP in a sense that they don't allow other people to do Mario stuff for obvious reasons. In the past, things have not gone well. Mario's missing. The other ones with the time machine, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, Mario's Time Machine.
Yeah, so those games weren't that great, and Nintendo didn't really handle those. So there's good reason why they are very protective of their IP. So when there's new iterations or new looking versions of Mario and like other franchises of Nintendo, it's gonna look weird. From the trailer itself, I mean, I thought it looked fine. I think that this is something that we're probably gonna have to get used to. I'm not gonna flat out say that the designs are just awful, because I think that that's just unfair to the movie itself. But I can see some criticism about how in certain angles Mario looks good, and then in other angles he just looks bad. But then again, that could just be us freeze framing it at a certain point. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely think like everything in the trailer was pretty good, except Mario. I think he looks fine. Obviously, the voice is is just Chris Pratt. When he said, "Oh, I'm gonna do a Mario voice," he really didn't. It just sounded like Chris Pratt. But like I said before with the poster, I do think a lot of the characters look really good, like the Magic Koopa and like the regular Koopas, Bowser. I think they all look really good. Like they look like they don't look weird. I'm glad they didn't do some weird shit where like the Koopas look like people or whatever. Like I'm glad everyone, all the enemies look the same, which is good. They even like brought like the penguins from like Mario 64 and Galaxy, so that was kind of cool. Even like Toad looks good. I think he's like a little longer, but like whatever. I think every character looks good, and for the most part, I think Mario also looks good. Like the animation is definitely like really good. Like I think it looks great. But that's about all I can really say about it, because we didn't see much. It was mostly just like like here's the characters and stuff. But I could already tell that I think Jack Black as Bowser is going to be pretty fun. It seems like he was really enjoying himself as Bowser. And, I think Jack Black just has, like, he's done voice acting a lot more than Chris Pratt probably. So, and I've heard his voice in a lot of stuff, obviously. So I think he's going to do a good Bowser. But yeah, Chris Pratt, I'm still not really convinced. And I'm sure a lot of people aren't convinced about his performance just yet.
Yeah, I think that even before this trailer came out, I think the general consensus is that we're all excited to see everyone else play their characters except for Chris Pratt's Mario, because Chris Pratt, he's just a plug-in kind of guy, like he's Star-Lord, he's the fucking Jurassic Park guy. Like, he doesn't really speak volumes to being a voice actor. Obviously, he did
Lego Movie,
yeah, but him branching out to that and him doing a different voice outside of his normal voice is something that we haven't seen before. I think, like you said, with Jack Black, he is obviously, or maybe not obviously, but I think, in my opinion, he feels more invested into his character than maybe Chris Pratt does. I think people feel like he's phoning it in to a certain extent, which I agree with. But yeah, I mean, like you said, the movie itself, it looks great. The animations, the way the characters move, the details, like, it is all there. Obviously, the budget's there because this is a fucking Mario movie, so they're gonna put however much resources they can into it. And the voice acting is something that has been brought up recently on Twitter. I've noticed, Charles Martinet, he's obviously voiced Mario for years and years and years, and he probably should have been the voice of Mario, honestly. I think that him alongside with a bunch of other Hollywood voice actors, I wouldn't mind. I just think that voice actors within games should also get their roles within the movies if possible. I think with the Sonic movie, I'm going to be a Sonic fanboy for a second here, but with Sonic, he's gone through many different voice actors, and Sonic has had a speaking role within his own games for many, many years. So when you have Mario, where it's been this one guy doing it for however many years and recording like maybe 20 lines within every single game or something like that, it's something that is a huge difference when you go from a game to a movie, because you have to have these speaking roles, have to have these storylines play out and stuff like that. So
yeah, I just think it's just weird to hear Mario talk like sentences in general, just because I love Charles Martinet, but even if he was doing like a full ass movie as Mario just talking, he's like, it was weird, right? I think it's also harder because, Sonic, I think, has more of a established personality. He's more of like that attitude, like piece of shit, like he's like, yeah, I'm Sonic. It's really easy. And, he had, like you say, he had a lot of speaking roles, obviously, before, and he's done more involved plots. Like, Mario has more involved plots, but he's usually just like the mute. Like, he doesn't really say anything. And he doesn't really have a personality. Like, he's just like a dude that saves the day. So I think it's going to be hard regardless. To like make him a main character in like a movie where he has to like do more than like be an extension of yourself, I guess. So yeah, I think it's gonna be hard regardless. But I don't know if they could do it. I don't know. To me, it's definitely gonna feel like one of those movies where all the other characters are good, but the main character, which that happens in a lot of things. But I think it's definitely gonna be the case here. Like, I think Luigi's gonna be better, just because Luigi has more of a personality in general. So
yeah,
we're gonna have to see how it is. I think the movie's going to be okay, and I think the weakest part is definitely going to be Mario. But yeah.
Unfortunately. I think that this is also a case of just Nintendo using voice acting in their things. Like, I still remember when I played Kid Icarus Uprising, and that game was fully voice acted, and that shit threw me off. I was like, what the fuck?
Right.
So I think that this is something that people are going to have to get used to. I'm sure that people are very skeptical and very harsh on the movie right now because this is something brand new for Nintendo, obviously. They've had a Mario movie in the past, but that was not that great. It was really fucking bad, honestly.
Yeah, it was really bad.
But this one, it seems obviously a lot more promising, a lot more faithful to the original source material. Obviously, the characters look like their characters. It's just a matter of the voice acting and the plot and sort of what they're trying to go for here. I know that this is going to be like an origin movie, and they're going to bring in like a lot of Easter eggs and certain characters that we haven't seen in the games, but only like, I guess, like hardcore Mario lore enthusiasts would know, and I'm not one of those people. So yeah, I mean, I'm obviously still looking forward to it. I cannot wait to see hopefully another trailer before it comes out, because I feel like after this one, it has left a lot of people wanting more, sort of seeing what else this can offer, because we've only seen Bowser, Mario, and some of Luigi's voice acting. So seeing all of the other characters sort of interact with each other and things like that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. I just wonder, like, I guess the plot really is just gonna be an isekai. It's gonna be like fucking Konosuba, where it's like, all right, yeah, you got transported to this world, beat the demon lord, and then you could go home or something. I'm like, okay, I guess that's what we're doing. Where Bowser's the fucking demon lord. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, it's gonna be interesting what they do, if they're gonna make this into a cinematic universe like everything else. Everyone's like, oh, there's gonna be a Smash Brothers movie that's gonna be like the Avengers. So I guess we'll see.
I don't want
hopefully the movie
that.
does well.
I don't want that shit.
I just feel like what are they gonna do?
Yeah, I don't want that.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see where this movie goes. They're probably gonna make more regardless, because it's probably gonna make a bunch of money. But yeah, I guess we'll see.
All right, so now we will.